March 6, 1933. April 5, 2019 by Anna von Reitz. On March 6, 1933, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was addressing the Conference of Governors. These governors were not our American governors. They were elected corporate franchise managers of British territorial organizations operating on our shores as states of states, like the state of Vermont. These British territorial citizenship organizations had secretively replaced our own American states of states in 1868, using a similar names deceit to do so. They crept in like cuckoo birds and replaced our American state of state doing business as, for example, the state of Vermont, with their British territorial version doing business as the state of Vermont, and the innocent trusting American people were not told the truth about this at any time. So, it's 1933, and the same monsters that pulled this fraud on the Americans in 1868 are getting ready to pull another. Franklin Delano Roosevelt is bringing big news to the franchise managers calling themselves governors. In his own words, the United States of America, Incorporated, is bankrupt. And what do these fake foreign governors do? They pledge the good faith and credit of their states and the citizenry thereof, by which they could only mean their own British territorial states of states, which are Confederate states, and their own British territorial United States citizens. We've already seen in my article, for all the Jural Assemblies 46, no pledges ever, that pledging is a futile act of serfs and tenants promising to support their sovereign. It's a peculiarly British thing. It had nothing to do with us then, and it has nothing to do with us now, except that people all over the world assumed that it did. In this way, the schemers set up a false legal presumption and helped themselves to our assets as collateral backing their debts. This is called hypothecation of debt, and it is a venal, foreign, patently immoral and unlawful practice. Being unaware of the first fraud, Americans were totally unaware of and unprepared for the second fraud from our British and Holy Roman Empire employees. As a result of what the filthy Brits did in 1868 acting in gross breach of trust, and what they did in 1933 also acting in gross breach of trust, generations of Americans were falsely presumed to be United States citizens, and taxed and abused by the Queen accordingly. As a further result, their persons, and the assets attached to their persons, were unlawfully converted from being recognized as lawful persons standing on the land and soil of this country to being presumed to be legal persons operating under the auspices of the British monarch. Nobody told us a thing. They all slapped each other on the back and thought that their treason, their breach of trust, their nasty criminal venture, would never be discovered. The Americans were fast asleep, lulled by deceits and misrepresentations and endless repetitions of the big lie that they were free and living in the land of the free, while in fact, their identities were being stolen and their assets were being purloined by foreign interests, and they were being robbed blind by their own employees. So what do you say, Queen Elizabeth II? You can start with a public apology and admission of guilt. We have the proof of what went on and who benefited from it, down to a gnat's eyelash. All of it. All the payoffs, all the banks involved. What do you say, Pope Francis? You can start with a public apology, too. In some respects, your employees and affiliates were even worse. These shameful con games and crimes were initiated and carried out by your employees and actual franchises on our shores, all under color of law, all in gross breach of trust and also breach of commercial contract. This has been our thanks for supporting Britain in 2 world wars, and our thanks for rebuilding Europe. This has been our thanks for giving the Roman Catholic Church tax-free status on our shores. You both knew what was going on, because you were profiting by it. We do not intend to keep on talking for another 20 years. All that correspondence is safely recorded and stowed away, and all of it has been scanned into computer records, and the thumb drives have been sent out worldwide, ready for distribution. The full and ugly details of this malfeasance, maliciousness, and criminality will be known all over the world if you don't make haste to make lasting peace with your brothers and bring relief and redress to the people of this country. Begin by cleaning out the Congress. Begin by paying your debts. Begin by making correction and reforming the U.S. District and State of State courts. Begin by putting an end to the media circus and propaganda. We are dealing with the facts, and so must you. Fictio sedet veritati, fictio juris non est, ubi veritas. Please hit subscribe, like, share, embed, and get ready for many more of my article videos.